Hi there, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jaymie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast.
For 15 years now, we've been proudly helping breeders promote hundreds of thousands of pedigree livestock with our easy-to-use animal management-driven website software.
And let's not forget about Hired Hand Live, where over $1 million worth of livestock is sold online each year.
We're excited to bring you market trends, sales data, advice from your fellow breeders, and stories from the ranch.
Our software makes managing your website and your animals a breeze, so you can focus on what you love.
So let us handle your digital chores while you tune in to another episode of From the Pasture with Hired Hand.
Today we're talking about the upcoming Texoma sale. Our guest and sale host, Dale Hunt, will give us an inside look at the cattle and other details for the weekend. Be sure to visit hiredhandlive.com, where you can view all the consignments, get detailed information, and place your bids. You can also check out the consigners' websites powered by Hired Hand software to learn more about their programs. If you're excited to hear about the stand-up Longhorns heading to the sale ring, stay tuned. We've got the full rundown. Well, hi, Dale. How are you today?
We're doing good, Jaymie. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. For the people that may have been living under a rock for the past few years, or I guess are new to the industry, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Dale Hunt. I started raising Longhorns in 1988. I did pedigrees for 20 years, assisting several different auctioneers. I'm the founder of the Horn Showcase. Jennifer and I reside in Ardmore, Oklahoma, where we run Rockin H Longhorns, and we run about 100 head of registered cattle.
Nice. So you know a thing or two about Longhorns, I think, is what you just kind of summed up.
We've been around them a little while.
Okay, so the Texoma sale has been around for quite a few years. It's maybe just fallen under a few different sale names.
Correct. It started out, Larry Stewart and Buck Adams and Bob Loomis called it the Red River Sale. Before that was the Three Amigos. It was the Three Amigos, and them guys had a ball. Then it went to the Red River Sale. Then Bob invited us to be a part of it, and we changed it to the Texoma, and we kind of pushed it up a little further because it wasn't like Memorial Day weekend, and that was kind of the end of the sale season. So it's been going on for close to 20 years.
Yeah, I think I went to one sale when it was called the Three Amigos sales, because wasn't Buck Adams, was he around then as well, I believe?
Yeah, Larry Stewart, Buck Adams, and Bob, and they all had three sombreros on the cover one year.
Yes, I remember that. Well, let's get into your sale. This year, is it the second year that you'll be having it in Duncan?
Second year at the great Duncan facility.
All right, so let's talk about the schedule of events. What happens on Thursday, April 24th?
Okay, cattle are going to arrive for the Futurity and for the sale all day, or starting at noon. Everybody don't show up before noon, because Donnie's putting out waters and hay, and we'll be ready for you at noon on Thursday. Cattle are going to arrive all day Thursday. We can look at them Thursday evening. Friday, the Futurity is going to have the females, the heifers will be judged all day Friday. Sale people, you can come on, you can bring your cattle in Friday morning. But we want all the cattle there no later than noon on Friday, because people are going to be out there and they're going to be wanting to see your cows. And if it's not there, they're not going to be able to see it. So then Friday afternoon, there's some activities. Then Friday at 5 p.m. sharp, we'll have the sale. You can load out after the sale. Saturday morning, the Futurity will have bulls, and they're going to have awards and a lunch. You can load out after that if you want to stay and cheer your fellow breeders on, or see what you want yourself and have lunch, and then you can go home. But load out Friday night, load out Saturday morning, and Saturday after the awards.
And the sale on Friday starts at 5
p.m.
And who are the sale day contacts if somebody needs to get in contact with someone?
Okay, if you have a cattle hauling, if any questions about coming in, contact Donnie Taylor. If you have, and Jaymie, we've got some transit pins, and I think this is something that's honorable to do for the breed. You know, a lot of us partner on bulls and different things, but it'd be nice if maybe we could tie a sale or an event into delivering and swapping bulls and stuff. So we have some transit pins, but we don't want you to show up. If you want a transit pin, please contact Donnie, so we can kind of keep a heads up on how many is going to be showing up. If you have a pedigree question or something you want to add about your pedigree, you need to contact Chase. Chase will be doing pedigrees, and Colonel Bruce McCarty will be our auctioneer.
Perfect. And what about haulers? Do you have any of those lined up for the weekend?
I know Wes Clark is going to be there. Ron Bailey's going to be there. I'm not sure about anybody else. Who do you know of that's going to be there, Jaymie? Who's been coming to some of the other sales?
I definitely Wes. Trying to think. There's usually Dylan Scarpa is usually there. He's usually willing to haul. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Dan Grove is coming, but he usually is willing to haul back to the East Coast.
Okay. So, we're going to have a lot of haulers there. So if you're going to buy online and you're not going to be able to make it to the event, just contact Hired Hand while you're bidding, and we'll make sure we've got somebody to take care of your cattle.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be sure to message out hauler names and their phone numbers during the sale so people can contact them. Okay, so that's haulers, that's the back crew, that's the cattle handler, auctioneer, pedigree reader. What about sponsors?
We have 4 awesome sponsors this year. If you all received your catalog, you can see right there in the top, we've got Doc and Suzanne Torkelson, Rex and Sharice Glendenning Farms. We've got the great crew from Diamond B. We've got the Robinsons coming in, bringing a really nice young heifer in. So we've got the 4 sponsors there, all solid Longhorn breeders. And we're also giving away 2 knives custom made from the Buck factory shop. So if you go to the hardware store and buy a Buck knife, you're buying the medium to low grade steel. Buck has a custom shop. You can go on there and actually custom make a knife. We ordered the best steel Buck provides. We had elk antlers handles put on them. It comes with the sheath. You can carry it in your pocket, but it's also it's a knife that will fit in the sheath, so you can kind of go either way. And it comes with a lifetime warranty. And this is going to go to the volume buyer. It's going to receive one, and the buyer of the high seller is going to receive one.
Okay, that's a nice, fun little surprise.
Yes.
I think one thing that I need to go backwards a little bit and mention that there are a few other sale hosts as well besides yourself. We should probably talk about them.
Okay. Bob Loomis is the founder of this. Bob's been in it the whole time. The 3 Amigos, the Red River, and now the Texoma. And so that's Bob and Pam Loomis, and Jennifer and myself, and Michael and Brandy Becker. We are the 3 hosts that put on the sale.
I was talking to Brandy the other day on the phone because it seems like every time they've tried to go to a sale this year, something has happened and they haven't been able to make it.
It's been Murphy's Law for Mike. It's been Murphy's Law.
It has.
But he's going to be at Texoma. You hear that, Mike? You're coming to Texoma.
I told her to wrap him in bubble wrap, do whatever she had to do so he could make sure that he was there. So hopefully we'll see Michael as well. Okay, so we talked about your sponsors that you have and the knives. What about the consigners?
We scaled back this year. Our audience we're not 100 head audience anymore, and I think you agree to this. So in the past, we had been having 70 to 80 head. So we cut it back this year to just what we have 52, low 50s for the head count, and we were more selective in what we took. And so this year, you're just a little over 50 head. I think the crowd will enjoy that better. I think each cow or each lot will be recognized a little better. So we're rolling with that.
So do you have anybody that has not consigned ever before in previous years? Is this their first time?
I don't think so. I think everybody, I may have one in there. That's a hard question. I wasn't prepared for that question.
Okay, we'll skip that question. We'll move on. Okay, so now I have some questions that I'm confident you're going to be able to answer. Let's talk about the consignments.
Okay. We're going to start the sale with 2 semen lots. And y'all, I like doing this. This gives the auctioneer and the pedigree reader a chance to warm up. It gives the crowd a chance to warm up and a chance to buy some semen on some really awesome bulls. So there'll be 5 straws of HL Higher Ground, the black and white bull. Horseshoe J Importance is Dan. We all know Horseshoe J Importance. So we're going to sell 5 straws of him. And then we're going to sell 5 straws of his son, DH Hired Hand. We've sold 2 daughters of Hired Hand. The first one brought $38,000 this year at the Legacy. and the second one brought 9,000 this year at the Fredericksburg sale, at the treasure chest sale. So those are some real nice semen packages that you might want to add.
So are they conventional, heifer sexed?
Conventional, each way conventional.
Okay, so 5 straws of each. Nice. What about a sub? I think there's one sub in the sale, right? Lot 13?
Yes, so far, Diamond Beak, Colin called and said they needed the sub one, and it's going to be lot 13. So take a peek at Hired Hand Live, and so you can see your updates on Safari Bee stepped up, and they subbed a really nice lot. So you're going to like what you see when you see lot 13. In the catalog, it's going to be the wrong heifer. That one's staying at home. I think she checked open or something, but Colin stepped up, and it's going to put a really good one in.
And there is also one scratch as well, right?
Yes, I think, wasn't it the Buxton female?
Yep, BL Cowgirl. She's lot 44.
Lot 44 is going to be a scratch.
Are you ready for a round of catalog roulette?
Yeah, cow roulette. Let's do this. Is fun.
All right, we're going to test your memory of your pedigree reading days.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with lot 5. We'll go, it's BCR Candy Jam.
Lot 5. Okay, this is one from one of our sponsors, Doc and Suzanne. This is an own daughter, Cracker Jack. Cracker Jack he's in the high 90s. He's out of the almost 90-inch Jam and Jenny cow. That bull is throwing confirmation color, and he's putting a boatload of horn on. Then on the bottom side, you've got Swagger from the Boland's program, and you've got the great Rebel HR, the sire of one of the highest selling female of all time.
We'll stop at Well Hello Diamonds from Michael and Brandy Beck at Holy Cow Longhorns. Lot 8.
Yes, Mike and Brandy you talk about a smooth made heifer. She's sired by Hello Darling. That's a son of Wreckin' So, going back to the Guinness Book of World Record Cowboy Tough. Then on the bottom side, you bring in 50-50, and you bring in the good Watson 167 bull. And she is smooth, really feminine, and horns going straight out.
Next, we'll do lot 12. GF Retha from Rex and Sharice Glendenning.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of our sponsors, Rex and Sharice Glendenning. This is Iron Yates by Drag Iron, going back to Heavy Hitter. You knew breeders. Heavy Hitter was the longest horn bull in our breed for many, many years, and he beat out his dad, G-Man. So G-Man was the longest horn bull in the breed. He had a son, beat his dad. So this brings back some really powerful genetics there. And then you've got Hunts Command Respect on the bottom side. Take a look at that heifer. Look at the color. Look at the femininity. Look at the horns going straight out on that heifer, Jaymie. Bam!
There we go. I was waiting for that, Dale. Okay, so you mentioned Swagger BCB before. So let's stop on lot 16. RR Queen Expedite from Martin and Donna Robeson with Robeson Ranch.
Yep, Martin and Donna, they're one of our sponsors. And look at this nice thick heifer. Look at the hip and the depth of body that this heifer brings to the plate. She's Swagger on the top. Okay, that brings in one of the Bolands had put together like 5 family lines that put them on the map, that built their program up. That Swagger comes from the Ring-a-Dinger line that's been so powerful on the horn. Then on the bottom, you've got Expedite, going back to Cowboy Catch-It Checks. Catch-It Checks is a full brother to Cowboy Tough, the longest horn bull in the breed for many, many, many years. Also bringing in Rio Catch-It, the 100-inch cow. So Martin and Donna, they stepped up to the plate. And if you can, ladies and gentlemen, look at the mother of this heifer. This young heifer's got her whole life. Look at the mother. She's in the 90s. Mother and daughter. Bam!
Okay, so next one we'll stop on. We're going to do lot 21, who I think you're probably pretty familiar with. DH Pistol Annie from you and Jennifer.
21. She's Rebel on the top side. Again, going back to the highest producing sire of all time on females. And then she's Rowdy HR. Rowdy was 2-time Bull of the Year. Jennifer and I have kind of built. Rowdy gave us bone. He gave us milk. He gave us horn and color. So if you look on my website, a lot of our bottom side is going to be Rowdy HR. That goes back to that good Rosemary cow. Well, then we brought Rosemary again with Rebel. So this young heifer, she's Tiger Stripe brindle. she's double bred rosemary. So that should bring some really interesting genetics to the plate.
So we'll go down south of you just a little bit and go to lot 26, DH Whiskey Girl. She's consigned by the MF Partnership Division of New Age Cattle Company.
Yes. Yep. Brian Fox and Randy Murray own this heifer. They bought this heifer from me as a yearling. She goes back to the real twist through the Rios Rangerette family. Then on the top, she brings in Yellow Jacket, Working Man Check. She brings in 50-50 BCB, but she's got style. She's got the beautiful rolling horns. And she's going to be bred to banker. That's Texaco and Clever Me. This will be one of the first banker calves released to anybody outside Randy's program. So really, really exciting lot there.
He always likes to do fun, special things like that with the lots.
He is a marketing genius, isn't he?
He is. The next one I stopped on was lot 32 from Dara Thompson. Her name is S.H. Cherry Satin.
Dora has been a great supporter of the sale since I've been involved with it, and she really stepped up here. Look at the horn. This cow's going to be knocking on 90. She's the beautiful blonde and white, kind of done in white female, horns twisting out. She brings in Cowboy Up, going back to the 100-inch Rio Catch-It cow on the top, Feisty Lee, Dixie Hunter, some good straight Butler breeding in there, the top caliber bull, one of the biggest horn bulls in the breed back in the day. So she brings in some old genetics, but look how more modern she is in the horn. She's going to be really interesting to cross with these modern day bulls. Way to go, Dora.
So the next one I stopped on is lot 39. Spring 39. Song. Yep. Spring Song BCB. She's from your own herd.
This is a consignment that Jennifer and I brought. This one's hard to let go of. Heavy milker, deep bodied female. She's in the high 80s, but her biggest fame is she's produced 3 offspring that's been over 60 inches at 24 months. You know, breeders, sometimes we get that one that hits it now and then, but she's done 3 of them. And it's just like she don't mess. Her 2-year-old bull, DH Heller High Water, they entered him in the Wisconsin Futurity, and he won everything up there in the Wisconsin Futurity. She has a full brother to him at side, and she's bred back for a 3-1.
And who's she bred back to?
She's bred back to the Jimmy Jones bull, EZE. So you've got Jimmy Jones breeding on EZE, and every female on the papers is over 90 inches. Could be very promising.
Could be.
One more on lot 39, Jaymie. The heifer the hired hand heifer that just sold for $38,000 at the Legacy. She's the granddam of that heifer.
Wow. Okay, that's a good connection.
Yes.
For people to make. The next one I stopped on is lot 45 from Bob and Pam Loomis. Her name is B.L. Millie.
How about a brindle cow with great big horns? She's a Catch-It. She's a direct daughter of Cowboy Catch-It Checks, full brother to Cowboy Tough. That brings in the 100-inch Rio Catch-It. Then, and what Bob did, he line bred that Catch-It cow. So she's 100-inch Catch-It on the top, 100-inch Catch-It on the bottom. Mixed in there is his Monica line. Bob and Pam's Monica line has been one of the strongest female lines ever in the history of the Longhorns. So you've got double bred Rio Catch-It with a dose of Monica. Look at this female. Look at the horns, the color. She's made tight and feminine. This is going to be a big time female.
So while we're talking about Bob and Pam's herd, let's stop at lot 47, BL Wishing Star.
Another Cowboy Catch-It daughter with 50-50 on the bottom side. This just 4-year-old. She's got her whole life ahead of her. Cowboy Catch-It on the Catch-It Checks on the top, 50-50 on the bottom. Bob's got her bred to Cracker Jack. Cracker Jack's that we talked about Cracker Jack in the beginning. He's in the high 90s. His mother's 100. This is going to be a real nice lot.
Let's talk about lot 50 from Aaron and Micah Landis, Bayou Annette.
Yes. Look at the depth of body and the bone in this female. Here's your female to raise some futurity champions out of. Her sire's the $100,000 Cowboy Casanova. And this, look, she's got Conquistador, Aces, Dixie, Daniel, Coach Tommy. Looks to me like she's straight Butler on the bottom side or really close to it. But she brings that big, thick heart girth and bone and depth of body in there to the plate. So she's going to be a fun one to outcross. There's no there's no Hunts Command Respect in there. There's a lot of the modern stuff. I mean, Hunts Command Respect is in there, but no Cowboy Tough Checks is in there. There's a lot of modern stuff that you could play with on this female.
And let's stop on the very last lot of the sale, lot 55 from Crown Creek Cattle, RM Smokin' Hot Safari.
Crown Creek, you brought us a great one. And the last one a lot of times is can sure when people have messed one all through the sale, they can bring the most money right there at the last because they want to take something home. So we put this awesome black and white. She's long as a well rope. Jaymie, she's a granddaughter of Night Safari, which if we have a female Hall of Fame, Night Safari's got to be in there with all the production that you have there. But you've got Night Safari, the nitric oxide bull that was used so successfully, Safari B1677. Y'all look at this awesome female. Wouldn't she be fun to do some outcrossing with when you've got that much body and you've got the shiny black and white? Beautiful female. Good job, Crown Creek.
So that's the sale that happens on Friday at 5 p.m. And then you said on Saturday, can people load out on Saturday during the futurity, or they want people to wait?
You just get in. If you're there and you want to leave Saturday, let Donnie know, because we can't mess up the futurity. But Donnie, if he knows you're going to leave out at 9 o'clock or something, he could pull your cows, or he could get them loaded out and have them out of the way where they wouldn't mess up the futurity.
And I think one of the other things that we didn't talk about, I guess, but during the day is it Friday? Are you having the wine tour and the beer tour as well, or is that Saturday?
Josh is going to have the wine tasting there on Friday, and there's a beer brewery that's right there local, and he's going to have that out there. So that'll be part. If you want, we want you there. We don't want you to leave. We want you looking at cattle. We're going to have food available there. You can have a cold beer. You can taste some wine. You can look at these awesome cows. You can watch the futurity, and we'll all have a good time in Duncan, Oklahoma.
So I have one last thing for you.
Okay.
I call it the Fast Five. I list off 5 characteristics of a longhorn, and then you tell me an animal that's in your sale that we have not already talked about.
Okay.
So the first
just
one,
pick one randomly. You want me to pick one randomly we haven't talked about?
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you one characteristic, and then you tell me an animal that fits that from your sale that we haven't talked about.
Okay.
Okay. So how about a black and white animal?
I think we only have one in there.
And was it the last one? Not 55?
That's the last. That's the only one we have.
Okay. Well, that was bad.
Okay, black and white. Yeah. We talked about the last lot in the sale. Here's your black and white bull. We're going to sell 5 straws of semen on HL higher ground, and you can sure get some black and white out of that. Here's his awesome dam, the Great Horseshoe J Important, over 90 inches, and she's the mother of the Great Horseshoe J Journey.
Okay, the next characteristic I have is twist.
Okay, I know the cow that we haven't talked about. Dora's. How about this cow right here? Is that cow not got the beautiful twist? This cow is lot 49, raising a colorful calf, beautiful udder, and look at the twist on this cow that Dora brought.
Next one is an animal that is red and white.
Red and white. Now that's easy. How about this flashy red and white cow? Lot 41, Dr. Justin Sabios. Look at the horn. She's going back to the Great Red Ranger bull. Red roan, some red and white, red and roan, twist out horns, and a ton of total horn to go with that tip to tip.
How about brindle?
I saw a lot of brindle in here. Lot 43. Look at the brindle Tom and Amy Buxton brought to us. Look at the depth of body on this. Look at the total horn. There's your brindle one that's sure one to take home.
And the last one I have is True Black.
A true black. Well, we only have one black cow.
I know. All right, so I'm going to let you pick any other animal that you would want to mention as the last animal.
I'm more familiar with what I'm putting in here, but y'all, here's lot 46. This cow's really done Jennifer and I a great job. Big-bodied cow. Her mother is a full sister to Jamaicism's Alfie. We all know that cow and how powerful that cow is. Randy Murray and I were partnered on a bull, Stockton's Dragon, and the mother's almost 100 and the grandmother's 100, and they're twist-horn brindles. She laid down the other day and had a heifer calf by Stockton's Dragon, and it is speckled and spotted, gonna turn brindle. But her mother, full sister to Jamaicism's Alfie, the sire to the calf's mother is almost 100, and the granddam's right at 100. So that'll be something to look for. That is lot 46.
Well, is there anything that we have not talked about that you'd like to cover?
Just be sure you're registered on Hired Hand. You can pre-bid. That's always fun. Have a cocktail, get down, turn Hired Hand live on, and go through there and pick some favorites out and stir the pot a little bit. Hit 100 here, hit 100 there, just to stir your fellow breeder up and have some fun. But we want to see you in Duncan. It's a fun little town, easy to get around in. Haulers will be there. Get in on Thursday. Futurity Friday, sale Friday at 5 p.m. Futurity Bulls Saturday morning, awards, and we can go home.
Thank you, Dale, for joining us today. I appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you, Jaymie.
And now let's hear from our advertisers.
When it comes to buying and selling livestock, trust is everything. At Hired Hand Live, we have a platform that breeders and buyers rely on, whether participating in a live auction, an internet-only event, or hosting their own online auction. Our secure, user-friendly system ensures that your bid counts, and every transaction is backed by our commitment to integrity.
Whether you're a part of a consignment sale or planning your own internet auction, Hired Hand Live connects breeders and buyers live and online. Discover why breeders trust us with their livestock auctions. Visit hiredhandlive.com today.
From the Pasture by Hired Hand is presented by R3 Hilltop Ranch. Located in Chilton, Texas, R3 Hilltop Ranch has been breeding registered Texas Longhorns since 2006. What began as 3 heifers has grown into our current herd, which you can explore on our website at r3hilltop.com. We're passionate about loud colors, longhorns, and docile temperaments, but it's the easy-keeping, low-maintenance traits of Texas Longhorns that initially attracted us and continue to drive our herd growth. In addition to livestock, we proudly offer certified Longhorn beef products. Visit r3hilltop.com/beef to learn more. Thank you for listening and enjoy exploring our ranch online at r3hilltop.com.
Are you a new Longhorn breeder eager to educate yourself on market trends and sale prices? Stay in the loop with our text messages. Get the latest updates, events, and insider tips on all things Longhorns delivered straight to your phone.
Stay informed by texting website to 888-700-8131, then reply with Longhorns. That's website to 888-700-8131. Sign up today and take your breeding program to the next level.
Looking for top quality Longhorns and a taste of true Texas spirit? Look no further than Cantera Cattle Company. Our passion for Longhorns shines at Old Gringo Ranch, where tradition meets excellence. Visit us online at CanteraCattleCompany.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for the latest updates and ranch life fun. Ready to experience it yourself? Schedule your visit by emailing canteracattle@gmail.com. Remember, God is great, Longhorns are good, and life is crazy.
Do you sometimes feel like you're the only one who doesn't have it all figured out? Rural life can be isolating, but it doesn't have to be.
Welcome to Ag's Most Okayest Farm Girls, the podcast for women who are craving connection, laughter, solidarity, camaraderie, and just overall encouragement in your everyday life and dreams.
Each week, your hosts, Annalise, that's me, and Courtney will cover topics such as farm life, mom life, making money online, side hustles, hobbies, sharing on social media, jobs off the farm, and so much more.
Us rural gals need to stick together, so saddle up for some fun, real, and unsolicited advice and stories from our everyday farm lives.
Grab a drink, we're Ag's Most Okayest Farm Girls, and we're here to help. Listen wherever you find podcasts.
We just talked with Texoma sale host Dale Hunt. Now we're shifting gears and talking about the Battle on the Prairie with host Josh Dinwiddie. Josh will give us an inside look at the details for the event. The Battle on the Prairie is an NLFR run event with points counting towards the NLFR and the championship. Hey Josh, how's it going today?
I'm good today. How are you, Jaymie?
I'm doing pretty good. Let's talk about the history of the Battle on the Prairie Futurity. I guess, why did you want to start it? And tell us more.
Last year was our inaugural event, and we felt like we could run a successful event, but more along the lines of, it's our event, but we partner with realistically the entire industry. But Joe and Dan with the NLFR have really pushed and promoted, so we wanted to be a big part of standardization in the futurity industry. We realized the marketing value that we can promote to other breeders, and we realized the marketing value we can promote to ourselves and the other futurities involved, and really want to jump on the standardization and participate.
You mentioned that last year was the very first year for the futurity. How many entries did you have your first year?
Last year we were at 192 entries, and that was we just did heifers last year.
Okay. Do you have any memorable stories or anything that stood out from last year with it being your first year?
I have, quite a bit of experience running futurities for the ITTLA for a few years running. So we didn't run into a lot of unexpected snafus. But, that when you're putting your own event together, there's always several stories of we should have done or could have done or oops, we forgot. We had a concert that evening, and it slipped by everybody that, that gal might need something to sing into and some speakers to sing out of. So we forgot almost the most important part of the entertainment all the way until about 2 hours before the entertainment was to start.
Well, thankfully you had some speakers and some microphones on hand there for the announcing and for the sale. So it probably worked out okay.
Yeah, we made it work.
Nice. Was there any other unique challenges or rewards from managing such a large event?
The challenge is, getting all these cattle together in one place, under one roof, in their pens, through the pen, back out to the pen as stress-free as we can, and we use Mr. Donnie Taylor a lot for that. He's just such a good help. To me, the challenge is the stress of knowing that we're responsible for so many people's animals, and that they're not bringing their worst to town; they're bringing their best. At the end of the day, knowing that we're able to house them, move them, pen them, feed them, and water them, on Saturday evening or Sunday when the dust settles, that's always a really rewarding feeling for me, that we didn't have any skips, we didn't have any pauses, we didn't have anybody get hurt, we didn't have a human get hurt. That probably will always be the biggest reward for me, is when we're done, that there's, stress-free and no injuries.
Earlier you mentioned the little snafu with the speakers and the mic for the singer. Is there any other changes or improvements that you are considering for this year based off of last year's futurity?
We grow every year. So this year the stage and the sound and stuff was almost on the front of my list. We've got more entertainment this year that's going to require audio. I don't want to sound like perfection's been achieved, but we did a pretty good job last year. So I don't have just a whole lot of changes and a whole lot of things that we've got to do differently or better. It's neat running into year 2 that there's already some things in place like our outhouse advertisements and some different unique opportunities for people to market their cattle. We can grow on those, and we're working at growing our marketing end for our customer base more than any other thing.
One of the unique things that you did last year at your inaugural event, and then also I believe at some of the ITTLA events, was had a Sawyer Spotlight. For those who may not know what that is, can you explain it to us?
Yep, we started that. I don't remember what year we started it. Maybe 2018. I remember Sawyer might have been 3 or 4 years old. Kit and I both have always had a soft spot in our heart for kids. I mean, our own kid, of course, but other people's kids. In the ag world, it's diminishing, and the exposure to agriculture-related events and activities is diminishing for these young kids. But I know what comes with that is confidence. And these people and kids that are folks that allow their kids to show animals, we like to get some of those kids in the ring in front of judges, in front of an announcer, in front of a crowd, and have a small conversation with whoever's announcing, Dan or Chase or whoever's in the seat, to build some confidence into these kids. They can bring, their parents are bringing a heifer. They can bring that heifer in the ring, and they can tell the announcer all about it. They feel the pressure from being in front of the judges and in front of the crowd. Some kids make it, some kids don't, but we like to give them a buckle. We've given buckles and halters and things. That way the kid gets a stressful situation and an award for that stressful situation. We think when we build character at that young of an age, we promote the show industry and these kids at a young age. And it brings a lot of joy to Kit and I both to see the smile on these kids' faces when they get their awards. And then to hear what some of the things they say in the ring, the Bill Cosby show, kids say the darndest things. We've sure had some pretty funny little kids come through the ring. We just really enjoy that. But that's what the Sawyer Spotlight's all about. It's free. All of the kids this year are going to get a buckle. That's sponsored by The Source, and they've been good to stick behind us every year. Probably 4 or 5 years they've stuck behind us and sponsored our buckles, and they really step up on that. I mean, they seek us out to sponsor that each and every year. Having the impact we can have on a 6 or 7 year old, we may never see that, for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, but I know the impact's there, and that means something to us.
Are the animals that are entered for the Sawyer Spotlight, do they have to also be entered into the Futurity, or they don't have to be?
They don't have to be. We've had years where, like, Mike and Callie Smith have brought halter broke animals for kids to show, or a lot of these heifers that are already entered, their parents brought them, and the kids have been exposed to them and around them, so they know them. But no, they do not have to be entered in the Futurity. And to combat the danger of that animal coming through before and a judge seeing it firsthand with a kid, we do the Sawyer Spotlight after the very last Futurity class. If there's 12 classes, there'll be class 13.
Okay. What is the age range for the kids that participate?
There is no age range. We've had 2-year-olds in there, and we've had 15-year-olds in there.
So let's move on, and we'll talk about more about this year's Futurity. I know you mentioned earlier that you have some sponsors. Can you tell us who those sponsors are?
We've received several sponsorships this year. Just from our entry page, the people that reach out and support us are always wonderful to have. JM Cattle Company, Mac and Andrea Siller, Helm Cattle Company, Flying Bee Longhorns, Cold Copper Ranch, RVR Longhorns, John and Christy with Lonesome Pines, Pace Cattle Company. We have a new sponsor, and this is interesting. This is his first ad. This is his first sponsorship, and I've worked with Tessa through this. G&A Country Club Ranch is kind of dipping their feet in the Futurity and sponsorship world. I think they'll come on strong. We've had several sponsors that way, and we're thankful for each and every one of them.
And another fun thing that you do at your Futurity is you have a sponsor spotlight that features an animal from 5 to 6 ranches. Do you know who those ranches will be this year?
Yeah, this sponsorship is unique that it's not a public offering. This one isn't a clickable link when you enter. I spend the year kind of searching these out and figuring out what fits best for us and for the event. So this sponsorship, I invite the animal, and I also invite the breeder. So we provide a showcase pen left and right of the sale ring. So those animals are always in view from Thursday till Sunday. You know, those animals are never hidden in the back. Nobody ever has to ask to go see them. They're right there. I pick animals that I can get behind, that I believe in, coupled with programs that I believe in and that are headed the right direction, making some good sound breeding decisions and supporting the industry. There's a lot of facets that go into the way that I think. I don't know that we want to go down the road of the way that I think. But this year, we've selected a few really good animals, in my opinion. Brian and Karen Allen with Circle A Longhorns, you know, she's contributed a lot of sponsorships and stuff for one thing, but sweat equity is what I call it. Work on committees, work on boards, and putting other events together. And they're bringing a young bull named KDK Firestorm. I put a lot of emphasis on the maternal line of a bull. We know Wildfire is extremely popular right now and really putting it out there, but there's a cow named BL Red River that they picked up from Bob a couple of years ago, and they bred her to Wildfire and got Red River Firestorm. He's going to be on display there, and they'll be pushing him, and I highly suggest that people take a long, hard look at him. We've got Outlaw Cattle Company, Walker Hance. He has already been to the top of the show world, and he's venturing into the horn world. You know, we all know we kind of have two distinct worlds there that we try to marry up. He's bringing a bull named TL Revival, over a ton on cows for 90 days. I mean, the rate of gain on the calves that are coming out of this bull, which is something that we need to focus on, is if we want to be a viable beef breed, if we want to be known to these bigger commercial breeds, he's got calves that are gaining in excess of 3 to touching 4 pounds a day pretty regularly, and those are some good genetics to have. But he's a big, beautiful black and white bull that'll be on display. Iron Man HR is out of the Herald program that Aaron and Michael Landis bought. He ran the Futurity circuit and did well on the Futurity circuit, but he's Pacific Cowboy 40 by HR Iron Rose, bringing just a slam of genetics, especially for a newer breeder. He will also be on display there at Duncan the whole weekend. Double S Tiger King, Double S Ranch Pen, and Nikki Stone. They're some stellar folks that are making some good decisions, finally getting their own progeny on the ground out of their own breeding and their own bulls, and they're awful proud of this bull, Double S Tiger King, and so am I. He ties back to concealed weapon, which I don't need to promote my own stuff, but at the same time, he meant something to me that way. He's out of a cow named HL Possum Princess. I've taken a shine to that bull and what they're producing and how they're utilizing good genetics within their program. One of our fortes is promoting the people and how they're getting along and how they're breeding and putting into the industry. And Ben and Nikki are knocking it out of the park. Another set of folks that we all already know, and it seems like they're almost a household name now, is Tom and Amy Buxton, but they're realistically putting their own stuff on the ground now that's theirs, and they've got a big bucks, a young bull. He's rebel by a cow named Barn Dancer. She's absolutely beautiful. But this is another young black and white bull that comes from a couple of breeders that are proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. They've got the staying power, they've got the intelligence. They're making great breeding decisions with great genetics, and they're quickly going to be to the top of the market. We absolutely love standing behind the animal, but we also love standing behind the people, and Tom and Amy are just first class. The last animal we have, we give one of these away every year. This is like I said, it's not a public offered sponsorship. It is a sponsorship. I've never been told no, but we try to give one of these away to somebody that's deserving. And this year, we're going to promote and display a bull named Just a Cowboy. I think we've all seen him. You've probably seen him in person. Tough Cowboy DC over the Just Dragon Iron cow, and that's from Barb and Jason's Shigota 3P Ranch. Those folks, I don't know that I have opened many Futurity catalogs and not seen the Shigotas supporting anything. And they've been, physically at. I can't say all, but because I don't have that factual information in front of me, but I would venture to say 90% of events they're supporting, attending, and then they were showing this Just a Cowboy Bowl, really, really well. This one we decided to give to them because which I'll leave their ages out, but it's not 21. They have another baby that just hit the ground, and this is a way we can give back and show that we see what they're doing. They were worried they may not be able to attend because of the pregnancy and the baby. Well, we can show that we support them and give them a nice baby shower present with this big sponsorship and help them along, promote their own bowl, because they've helped so many others along. And that's the list of our spotlight animals, and I want everybody to be sure and look for them in Duncan. They'll be in the arena the whole weekend where, people can walk up, see, touch, and feel. And then I really encourage you guys to get out and meet the breeders. They're really nice folks, and we wouldn't have picked them if they were not approachable. So they're all ready to shake your hand and tell you their story.
It's really neat that you give people the opportunity to spotlight their animals like that when there'll be such a large attendance there for the sale and the futurity.
We enjoy it. We like providing that. Like I said, the marketing end of a futurity is probably one of my favorite aspects of it, because I can market not just for myself. I can market for a lot of different people in a really positive way.
Let's jump into the futurity that's happening here this coming weekend. Let's start with Thursday. What happens?
Thursday, we start receiving cattle at 8 a.m. So 8 a.m. to 9 on Thursday. And we really want cattle in place Thursday, as the futurity starts at 9 in the morning on Friday.
The heifers on Friday, the bulls on Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
How many heifer classes do you have this year?
We have 10 heifer classes this year, and then there's a bump between the heifers and the bulls, a class 11. This is an idea Kit came up with years ago. I don't know what she's calling it this year. It's been 80s ladies, and I don't remember lots of names, but class 11 is born 2016 or before. That class is to showcase some of the dames where these winning heifers are coming from.
And how many entries did you say you have for heifers?
Right now it looks like Joe just sent me the spreadsheet. I think we are at 210 heifers.
Wow.
Quite the turnout.
That's even more than last year. Plus we haven't even gotten to the bulls yet. Nice.
Right.
I believe you have a special guest speaker on Friday as well.
Yep. Friday. It's listed at 3 p.m. We're going to have a lady named Temple Grandin. She's a really big time speaker in the livestock industry. She's got just a massive following. She has a movie out named Temple Grandin. She is big into lots of facets of the livestock industry, but what she's really well known for is stress-free livestock handling, as far as the movement of livestock, and then take it down to the commercial end of what cattle are, used for in the United States. And that she revolutionized a lot of our feedlot handling systems. She 100% revolutionized the kill floor in nearly every plant across the United States. She designed Texas A&M's large animal veterinary hospital animal intake. She's just really well known for that. She also speaks on topics such as single trait breeding and livestock nutrition, infectious disease in cattle and how that affects them. She's just a wealth of knowledge to the livestock industry with a massive following. I know my phone is ringing constantly with people that are going to be in attendance for her.
Where will people go to watch or to listen to her speak? Will it be right there where the sale and the futurity takes place, or will it be in a separate room?
Everything will happen at round tables in front of the sale ring. We'll have the sale ring, the display animals, and a stage set up in the arena. If we run out of seating, we'll use the bleachers, which we're thinking we may run out of seating and have to use the bleachers. But everything will be in one location. You won't have to go anywhere. We'll have our vendor booths will be in the arena. We'll have our food in the arena. We'll have our guest speaker in the arena, our spotlight animals in the arena, our tables where you sit all weekend in the arena. and of course the sale there in that arena. Everything in one spot.
So Temple Grandin speaks at 3, and then following that at 5 p.m. is the Texoma Spring Classic.
Yes, ma'am.
On Saturday morning, what time does the Bull Futurity start?
The Bull Futurity begins at 8 a.m.
How many bulls do you have?
64, I believe. 64 or 66 bulls.
With how many classes?
This year we offered, I think, 5 bull classes. And let me preface this, the 10 heifer classes and the 5 bull classes, this is part of our mission of standardization. These classes and dates are open to every futurity across the country for the NLFR. So they may be classed a tiny bit differently. However, the beginning birth date and the end birth date, heifers and bulls, are standard that they qualify for the NLFR point system.
And it looks like on the schedule of events, there is wine tasting and beer tasting. Is that in the arena as well?
Yep, that'll be the same. We had that last year, Cotton Blossom Winery and the Kokendorfer Brewery. So that'll be the same as last year.
That's only from a specific time, correct? Like that doesn't happen all day long?
Right, noon to 6.
What time are you guessing that the awards banquet and the meal will take place?
I guess this wrong all the time. So Dan and Joe tell me how fast we can go. But with 64 bulls starting at 8 in the morning, we might work through those bulls by 10 a.m. to 10:30. The awards banquet and meal will follow the futurity. So if we're having a dinner, it might be 11:30 before we eat dinner, just depending on when the food arrives and how the servers get set up. But it'll be from the 10 to noon window, I'm certain.
Well, now that we've covered everything that's happening there at the Battle on the Prairie Futurity, do you have any advice for someone who's looking to enter their Longhorns into future futurities?
I recommend to somebody that wants to start into this to attend futurities. Not necessarily look at what's winning. I mean, of course, our desire is to win. More importantly, look at what those judges are judging after the futurity. Talk to the judges. Make informed decisions on the animals you're going to potentially purchase to compete with. Make informed decisions on the animals you're going to breed to compete with. This is an ever-changing industry, an ever-growing industry. But I recommend to somebody that wants to start doing this to attend and walk those aisles and look at those animals, study those pedigrees, and then, guys, these results are public, especially with the NLFR. You can look up all of your winners last year. You can look up all of your winners this year. The technology with Hired Hand, NLFR, they've provided us a method of having some data to weigh against itself. So look at those animals, size them up for yourself, and then, kind of go size up, what's winning before you start making decisions and make informed decisions.
Is there anything that we didn't get to talk about from the weekend that you would like to mention?
Hotels. I don't know if we mentioned the Holiday Inn and the Fairfield or our choice hotels. The city of Duncan is sponsoring us again. They sponsor us every year. And then another thing that we like to promote is the Chisholm Trail Heritage Center, the museum that's there in Duncan. That's probably the best Chisholm Trail memorabilia and history there is in the country. They'll be there on site with a booth. Our sponsors also all receive 4 free passes to go to the museum. I really highly encourage people to go check that out because it's real history. These are artifacts, these are things, these are stories, these are pictures from the days when a Longhorn was, she was beef and her calf was beef, and they left South Texas and ended up in Dodge City to Montana to the yards in Chicago. This is real living history and a good chance to go see it.
Well, thanks for joining us. Make sure to check out the Battle on the Prairie and the Texoma sale consignments ahead of sale day and follow us for more updates. Until next time.